I hear people blame a police officer for cutting off a youth here. I blame her. And I hold her responsible. But I can't talk about it because that's a legal matter for which the entire constabulary force will have to pay. Bang!
Father, protect fame Edjahz from poverty, jealousy, envy, hold down. People who see fame Edjahz a lead and want him slow down. Like the fake friends, snake friends, the one them will show love. As fame Edjahz turn him back, them attack with force slug. Pre them, you see them, all the enemies them. Want take fame Edjahz life because of him I met the G's them. Them say them real but nobody no believe them. Negative people, fame Edjahz don't need them. Father, fame Edjahz now complain because you bless him with fortune and fame. The more you bless him, the more them hate. So continue to bless fame Edjahz. Just keep him safe. Amen. Yeah, regular than this, me I'ma take it with a smile and play blind to it. People easy for change, only thing to change I want to pan them ID. Pan them ID.
Up move is never done move. You don't know if you just there up on a brand new show, a fresh new show. Big up all of my subscribers and all of my viewers them. And all who not subscribe it, nothing at all no change. The door is always open, so don't know if you go do. On this show we have reggae star Chronixx a speak out on the situation between a teenage Rasta girl and a female police officer. We're all supposed to see the viral video on social media by now. And my loyal subscriber them definitely know what I go on, because I did already provide that update. Anyways, the viral king himself forward out and bonafire. The great Spragga Benz forward out and bonafire. Now we have reggae star Chronixx do the right thing and forward out and bonafire upon the corruption. Don't get me wrong, others out there vexed about the situation and I burn out the system right through. But you don't know upon fame Edjahz channel and mainly the entertainers them we deal with. So focus more upon who in our industry are going to stand up for the people them. And as you can see we have few brave warriors out here. Chronixx as the latest one for gash them and light them. But here we are going for the flame here. Him now go for the little fry them. Him go for the big wheel them where organize the badness. The entertainer burn a fire upon the police lady we carry out the terrible act. But him say him not to speak on it because legal action take place now. But when make clear say the Prime Minister is not to be blamed. The Prime Minister is just a puppet to what really are going. People, the reasoning deep. So we are hurry up and provide that update. But first, me could kick out the show under one vibes. We'll be right back.
When me I go learn, fi stop sorry for people and put myself first. When me I go learn, fi stop sorry for some people. When me I go learn, fi stop smile, you do not like me, I'ma know me know for me. Another far way to go. Me tell me go and pray, I watch your blessings flow. Yeah, we come a far way, another far way.
I'm ready for the pot. Conscience clear, I'm a firm in my heart. Now watch evil do as we are lurking at the dark. Come on, can't turn back, man can't turn. No man can't turn back, man can't turn.
So Chronixx forward out and speak out against what reached the young Rasta Empress. Majority of the people them angry about the situation and demand the Prime Minister for take strict action. But the reggae star no believe the Prime Minister is to be blamed. The entertainer of the Prime Minister some little fry in the organization. So him blaze the fire over which part of the big wheel them there. People who no know fame Edjahz style, we not do instigating job around here. Hear it from the reggae star himself.
Now we live in a colonial world here in the Caribbean, and we express it in our music, but more express it to the ones them in reasoning. I hear people blame a police officer for cutting off a youth here. I blame her, and I hold her responsible. But I can't talk about it because that's a legal matter for which the entire constabulary force will have to pay. So I don't want to use Instagram as a thing to complicate the legal process. You see me? But we live in a country called Jamaica, and here we are with a big old governor general representing a big old queen from a next sovereign country who is our sovereign, which means the wife of our prime minister is not the first lady. Because he's not the sovereign. He's not the sovereign. That's why I will never use my platform to come on here and blame a prime minister of a colonial a colonial machinery, the driver of a colonial machinery, or the trustee, someone leave to look after them colony for them, I'm not gonna blame him. The only reason why our Prime Minister is still a Jamaican is because, or a Jamaican national, is because is a neo-colonial construct, and that is the platform, and that is the identity that is used in a neo-colonial concept. You use a national son of the soil, you educate him, you make him into yours, and you use him against him people. Yeah. So that's the only reason why we have a Jamaican as a Prime Minister. But them not serve nothing else. Them not serve nothing else because they are not sovereign. They can't stand in front of the world and hold anyone accountable until you claim your sovereignty justly. You see me? And if it is even possible, peacefully, you know, if it is possible. But you have to claim your sovereignty. You see me? You have to claim your sovereignty before you can talk about nothing about, you know what I mean? So, the Jamaica Labour Party was founded by the likes of Sir Alexander Bustamante, which is the devil. That is like us having Adolf Hitler as a national hero, and he is still recognized as a national hero in this country, and the party which he founded is the party that is in power right now in this country. You see me? And we hear someone talk about genealogy and whatever. Yo, we can go forward. We're not talking about race and them things there, you know. You see? We're not talking about that. We are talking about human consciousness. Because you see, a man race is one thing. A man consciousness is another story. Yeah? Because our prime ministers over the past, I've never had a white prime minister in this country. So my whole entire lifetime, I grew up come see man who look like me in them jacket and them tie, doing what Winston Churchill would have done. So we have this big men as one of our national heroes. It's like if Israel did have Sir Adolf Hitler as them national hero. That's what we have here in Jamaica. That's what we have on this island. We have men like Hugh Shearer who helped the world to assassinate Walter Rodney for what he knew and for how he lived and for his beliefs. The consciousness of Rastafari. And when you go through airport, them deal with Rastaman as if you carry cocaine in your dreadlocks. See? As if you carry firearm in your dreadlocks. You know? So when we see what happened with the young sister, I spoke to the young sister yesterday, a very beautiful princess in Zinga, and I spoke to her parents, very beautiful ones, Nyabingi people. We now talk about one of the people from Scotiabank who have dreadlocks, and we now talk about one of the people from Carnival who have dreadlocks. Third generation. We are talking about a third generation Nyabingi princess who her dreadlocks, she was separated from her covenant, her physical covenant that she had from birth, by a police officer who was in a police, I don't know what them call the place with them, the pen. You see me? With other police officers present, with their superiors present. You can imagine? You can imagine? You can imagine? But we as Rastafari, we're not talking about them, you know. We are talking about we, you know. We need to come together now, you know. And woman them who all the man them and woman who benefit financially from Rasta music and Naya Bingi, and Bobo Shanti, and the works of Prince Charles Emmanuel, the Honorable, the Prophet and the Priest and the King. See, we have made a wealth. We have been given creative freedom. We have been given a name and a culture. Some of us who was born Miguel, we now name Kalanji. You see me? All who born name Nathan, we have more name now from Rasta where we can get and baptize and have a name. All who the name Johnson. See? So I spoke to the Empress and I reasoned with her family, and they were all traumatized. And I have a daughter, my daughter is 2. And I couldn't help but to imagine. I couldn't help but to imagine how, you know, like I send my daughter go out on the street to deal with that thing, only to know that she gets separated and severed from her covenant, which is with spiritual identity, you know, by a police officer in 2021. So that's because we live in a colonial system, neo-colonial system, where Jamaicans can't even travel go nowhere. We are the most peaceful people in the world. We never ever war against the next country. We never go to a next country and incite war against them yet. Every other country involved in that except we. All Jamaicans go do is try to make a better way for themselves and fight for them rights. All the Jamaican them where them say a criminal or foreign, when you check it, the man them a fight for them rights. So we need to forward together still. We need to forward together. This situation with this Empress is not the reason why I'm doing this live, to be honest. It's not the reason. It is not the sole reason of why I'm on here. I would say it more motivate me. See? It's not the reason. Because remember in 1968 with you Lawson Shearer, and imagine Bakawal before that, imagine Coral Gardens, imagine Pinnacle. See? So I not call no politician name, I not call them name out of my mouth because them not worthy. Me not call no police officer name because them no worthy for when you play back this you hear my voice, I say them name. My voice, I say for them name, it not necessary. Everybody know them name. And everybody knows that them government is illegal. And it is overdue that their government get abolished. And if Rasta people did put forward a government to this country, you wouldn't have no PMP nor JLP. See? People would just know say Rasta we are deal with. Everybody in the world let me know is Rasta them identify with more than them identify with Jamaican culture. You go do your own research. Don't depend on fight Walter Rodney, Edward Siaga and all of them displace enough Rasta. See? Displace them and kill them. Bustamante is the worst of all. And I hear nowadays Jamaica Labour Party people talking about reparation. Oh, come on, man. Do yourself a favor and abolish your little party. Do yourself a favor, you little PMP people, and abolish your little party. Do away with it. Sit together, all the young people in PMP and JLP, come together, rise up. And sit together and think about a way how you can move forward to benefit on yourself and on the children's children. Because PMP and JLP is the worst thing you're not going to ever be a part of. There is no repentance for them two entities. They are the worst. And it's the same goes for the Trinidad government them. It's the same. One of my honorable elder them, a mentor of mine, right? A mentor of mine. I hear people talk about repatriation. Repatriation is a must. Repatriation need the unification of Africa. It need Africa to be one. Cause I don't have no tribe. I don't know who my tribe in Africa is. And Africa is still a very tribal place. I've been there several times. In Ethiopia, they are dying from tribalism right now. If they continue in the same tribal way, there will not be an Ethiopia in the next 20 years. I say when we go Israel, I see Israel controlled by a next place. Israel is Africa. So until Africa, I see Egypt controlled by a next place. Nigeria controlled by some other all different kind of people. Me go West Africa, I see Senegal and Gambia as two different countries separate. That can't work. None of that can work. South Africa still a living in apartheid. That can't work. I'm going to see that for myself. Me an idiot. You see me? Travel all over Africa and see that for myself. Uganda, all them country under colonial bondage. I drive go up on the coast of Kenya and see truckloads of titanium just a leave go straight to the shoreline. The man them just a mine raw titanium, they them process it 2 times. Same thing happening in Jamaica. Same thing happening upon this little rock here where we live upon. So many people are talk about reparation and them want money and how much billion, trillion. I don't how if you take money, how if you bring down where we go through and try to put money to it. How much low can you go? How low do you think we are? How about you give us our minerals back? How about you come off our island and make we have our own government? The island where we build, the island where we sing for, where we write music about, and we write poetry and artwork and give it a we have given ourselves an identity. Give us a chance now to live in our identities.
That was it for the show. Big up all of my subscribers and all of the viewers that will stay until the end of the show. Really appreciate it. Bless up on yourself and go and live good.
When me I gotta learn, it's up sorry for some people. Those who give 100 cents, that's so dark me is. Give them my heart, me